Okay, assalamualaikum everyone. We are live here in another session. Let me wait for a few people to join in, and then we will start. I just wanted to give a little introduction to what we will be discussing. Like whenever you go to a professional or you go to a doctor, you go to a psychologist to talk about your regarding your children, they do ask you about about the history. Okay, when did the child start walking? When did the child start crawling? When did they say their first words? So why do they ask about these small things? Okay, when did the child complete their milestones? Why is this so significant? So how developmental psychology affects in dealing with children with learning disabilities. Milestones is important. We are going to cover that aspect in our session. And we have clinical psychologist Amna Karimi. She is with children with learning disabilities. So she has a vast experience and vast exposure to that sector. So let me welcome her.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, Salim Amna. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you, Tuba?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, yes, yes. I can hear you too. So, Amna, can you give a little bit introduction about yourself?
Okay, my name is Amna Karimi, and I am currently working in Majoris Inclusive Center as a behavior therapist. In past, I have worked as a clinical psychologist in the Dr. Aga Khan Center, that is the OJHA campus of Dow International, and I worked there for 2 years as a clinical psychologist. Uh, Along with that, I have a diploma in ECD, Early Childhood Development. I did it from Aga Khan University, and yeah, I have quite a bit of experience in almost all the child-related fields.
Yeah, that's why I love that you are on my panel because you cover so many aspects when we are talking about children with learning disability. So let me ask my first question, Anna. What is developmental psychology?
Okay, see, the scientific study of how a human mind or human brain changes over the period of time is called developmental psychology. Uh, in developmental psychology, you can say it is basically the psychology from womb till tomb, till from the time the baby, the child is in the mother's womb, till the time the human dies. All that time period, all the whole life story of that human is, and how the behaviors develop, how the personality develops, how the thinking, the thought pattern, everything, how it all develops is basically the study of all those things is developmental psychology.
So it covers everything.
It covers everything from womb till tomb.
Yeah, that's a nice way from room to room. So, Amna, why is development important when we are dealing with or working with children with special
Activa, can you please repeat that? I couldn't hear you properly. Can you please repeat that?
My question is important when you are dealing with or working with children with special needs?
Hello?
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can hear
sorry.
you.
I
Can you
think the
hear
voice
me?
got cut off. Yeah, I can hear you now. Please repeat again.
Okay. My question was that why developmental psychology is important when we are working with children with special needs.
See, there's a whole new field in developmental psychology, whole new career in developmental psychology, and those people who are working with children of special needs, they are basically called child development specialists.
Okay.
So basically, they have a keen eye of observation of any deficiencies or defects or delays in milestones. Because as a developmental psychologist, we have a very keen eye of detecting any milestone or any developmental deficiency. So we have a keen eye of observation for that, and then we can predict if the milestone is underachieved, and we can predict the future of the baby, that how can the baby turn out in future, and what kind of delays or deficiencies they might have. And then with that, along with that background, we can make a whole treatment plan, that whether behavior therapy will work for this kid, whether any other therapy will work, or is this a milestone, or is this thing achievable for a kid or not. So we have a thorough knowledge on that thing. Okay, and finally we can create a therapy that will achieve the growth milestone. So in that way we can help children with special needs.
And this is why these specialists and professionals ask about these milestones, that when did the child do stand, started walking, started crawling, because this is why it is very significantly important to know about the future
Exactly.
aspects and where will the child will have difficulties.
Exactly. In order to predict whether they might have any delays or deficiencies in future, milestones are very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amna, can you share some insight about individual milestones in children?
Sorry, come again.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, can you please repeat that? Your voice got cut off.
Yeah, I was saying that can you explain what developmental milestones are in children?
Hello? Okay.
Hello, can you hear
I'm
me, Amna,
sorry, your
now?
voice got cut off again. I'm thinking you're asking about developmental milestones of children with special needs, right?
What are the developmental milestones in children?
Developmental milestones. Okay. Developmental milestones are basically the ability that most children achieve at a certain age. So by the age of 2 months, the children should achieve this milestone. By the age of 1 year, the children should be able to achieve these milestones. So these are basically the stepping stones on which a child development is based on. Development can be physical, can be social, can be emotional, can be cognitive or communicative. So any kind of delay in any one of these sectors can result you know some delays or deficiencies in future.
Okay. So is there like a checklist for every, is there like a standard checklist? Okay, the child should do this by one
Yeah,
month,
of
do this by
course.
2 months.
There is there is a standard checklist for kids, like by the age of 2 months the child should be able to make to communicate verbally through cooing sounds and stuff. By the age of 1 year the child should be able to fulfill his physical milestone, that is a milestone of walking and bodily movements. The
Mm-hmm.
child should be able to do that. So there is a whole list of standard of a milestone of a normal child, a child without any special needs. And then there is a whole list of child with special needs. For example, if the child has Down syndrome, there's a whole new list for that. If the child has autism, there's a whole new list for that. So it keeps going on like that.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and are the milestones, these developmental milestones, different in children with compared to the
Yes, yes, of course. uh,
mainstream children?
Hello, Tuba, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, yes. So there are differences in milestones uh, for children with special needs.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, For example, if the child has any neurological neurodiversity, autism or ADHD, then the child might have trouble in communicating. So the communication milestone will be affected, which will cause trouble in other milestones as well, because all the milestones are interlinked in a way. They might not have any issue with physical milestones. They will be able to walk or stand by themselves properly. They will be able to grab things properly, but due to the lack of communication, due to underachieved communication milestone, they will have trouble with expressing their emotions with other skills related to communication. In the same way, a child with Down syndrome, if you talk about them, then all the milestones of a Down syndrome child are delayed from 1 to 3 months compared to a mainstream child. So if a mainstream child is able to walk by the age of 1, then a Down syndrome child will be able to walk by the age of 1.3 to 1.5 months.
Okay. So there are differences, and because
Yeah,
of
there
these
are.
differences, we can early detect any kind of a uh, different ability or any kind of a neurological change.
Definitely.
Okay. So, what are the effects of delayed milestones?
See, the milestones are actually the first-hand indicator of any future possible developmental delays or deficiencies or disabilities. So it is said na कि a stitch in time saves nine. So the early you detect a milestone, a delay in a child, the better it is for the future of the child, and the better it is for helping out the child with the thing he is having difficulty with. So, if the milestone delay
Okay.
is ignored by a parent, for instance, you see any kind of delay in your
Yeah,
child's
absolutely. That
milestone,
the
and
parents
yeah, and you just
ignore this, if I may
you
say.
at times people are like, you know, seek jayega, it's okay, he will learn through time, give him more time. Some kids learn with more time, some kids learn early. So it is best to talk to a psychologist or talk to a specialist. I mean, I know it is
Yeah.
very difficult to talk about your child and to accept the fact that your child might have some issues in that regard. It is very difficult for a parent to
Mhm.
accept. But you can secretly, talk to someone and you can seek help. You don't have to show it to others. And again, a stitch in time saves nine. It will save a lot of future problems you might have due to this delay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it's best to seek
absolutely.
help.
Because early intervention always helps the child. And I think no one
Definitely.
can understand that better than a developmental psychologist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because I think this is what is frequently happening over here, especially in our culture, that red flags, if I say, or these delayed milestones, children or parents tend to ignore it. Maybe over the
Hmm.
time they learn, over the time they'll be fine. My older son spoke when he was 3. I think he is just having, he will also speak by
Hmm.
the age of 3. So these are some myths and misconceptions because of it, the early intervention get delayed.
Definitely. Actually, in our culture, we tend to compare a lot.
Yeah.
Like his father also spoke late, so he will also speak late. It's quite normal in our family.
Yeah.
So,
And I
if
have heard this
any
so many
milestone is
times. I'm
delayed,
quite sure you have heard this too.
definitely. Because any delay in milestone, take it like at least 3 to 4 months delay in milestone, that is not normal. Okay,
Mm.
so a delay for a couple of months is normal, but a delay for 3 to 4 months is absolutely not normal.
Yeah. And there can be many reasons to it. And for that, you need to seek help from a professional. You cannot do on your own, especially just by Googling the symptoms.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. And what
Avoid
are
Google
the,
Doctor.
yeah, avoid, because sometimes you just write that I'm sneezing all day on Google, they might diagnose cancer. So never
Yeah,
do that. Okay.
yeah,
So,
it happens.
Amna, what are the effects of a child's inability of our society on parents?
Uh, I'm sorry, your voice got cut off again. I don't know
Okay.
what's wrong with the internet today.
I think the internet is, I
Child,
think. Okay, I'm saying that what are the effects
Yeah.
of child's inability to meet the standards set by our society
Hmm.
on parents, especially.
See, being a parent, I'm talking to parents right now, okay? As a parent, we have a picture in our brain that our child about our child, that our child should be perfect in all aspects of life. Our child, we have certain expectations attached with our child. That expectations are again imposed by our society, and yeah, you expect your child to behave in a certain way. You expect your child to be in a certain way, to be, good in all the aspects. So, as a parent, it is a huge pressure to accept the fact that your child is not a robot. Your child is a human, and your child can have certain shortcomings. As a parent, it is very difficult to accept. Okay, so it is best to accept this fact as early as possible. If your child, for example, has difficulty in reading or writing or anything, then it is a shortcoming in a way. And just accept the fact that yes, my child is also a human. He's not a perfect robot kind of a factory made thing. He can also have certain troubles, and just try to be there for the child. Don't try to improve him, or don't try to impose your expectations on him, or impose your anxieties on your child. Just try to be there for your child, and uh, lower down your expectations a bit, adjust your expectations to a level where a child can achieve those expectations. Okay,
Very well
and
said, Amna,
the
that they
most
need to
important thing to
adjust
remember
their
in all
level of
this is,
expectations. Very well said.
hmm, adjust the level of expectation. And the most important thing for you to uh, consider is that your child will still be happy with low grades. Your child will still be happy, still can be happy with academic underachievements. So it is more important for a child to be happy, because a happy child is a motivated one. An unhappy one is a demotivated one, and which will lead further to more lower grades and more issues.
Yeah,
So accept the fact, change your perception of success. What is success to you? Success is not always having loads of billion-dollar bills by the age of 40. Success can be being happy with your family and enjoying your family life at the age of 40. So you just need to remodel your whole thought patterns.
absolutely. And I think, Amna, this is, and you have clarified it very well, because even our mainstream children are stressed, pressurized by this uh, expectations set by our standards, that lower than an A star is just like an abusive word for the family. You cannot have low than less than A grade. So what have, just imagine how much pressure would be exerted on the children who are having some kind of a neurological deficiency, because of which they are not able to adjust to our society. Because
Exactly.
no matter what you do, everybody is always going to criticize.
Hmm.
So as
And being
parents,
a
I think,
parent,
mhm,
as a
yeah,
parent, uh, the earlier you adjust your expectations, and the earlier you change your perception of success, the happier children you will get.
absolutely, and very well said, Anna. I really hope that parents get this message from this section, that this is what, and this is what this page is about, that to give them that much awareness that they are able to accept their own children, because that is the first battle for those children, that they need that trust and love from their family first. Forget about the world.
Exactly.
And Amna, how can parents deal with this, like this inability of their children to meet their standards? Because society is like, they have made their standards, and if your child is not able to meet it, they are not welcome.
So for parents again, वही जो बात मैंने कही कि adjust your expectations and change your perceptions of success. Uh, yes, I can understand it can be very difficult for a parent to accept this fact. But then again, when if you're not accepting this fact, then you are damaging your child further. Okay, so yeah, seek help if you can. If you are unable to do that, just go to a psychologist, go to a therapist, seek help for your child, and go to watch motivational videos on YouTube. That is a very good good way to motivate yourself these days. Watch some videos on YouTube. Watch some
Yeah,
parenting
because
coach videos on YouTube. So uh, you can easily lower down your
yeah,
expectations through this.
yeah, true. And I think this is very important because first parents need to motivate themselves so that they're able to motivate their children also.
Hmm.
Because
Exactly.
sometimes what they do is that parents feel drained after helping and motivating their children because in the
Hmm.
end, unconsciously they are not motivated. So they, and I
Hmm.
think
Exactly.
these are very good tips that they can
And you know
what
what?
like
As a
motivate children to.
therapist, as a behavior therapist, when I deal with kids and parents, my personal approach is to lower down the expectations of parents first, to bring them on a level where they are able to accept the facts about their kids. Okay, because our
Yeah,
society has a very negative pressure on our parents that if the child is ADHD, then mother might have eaten something during pregnancy. If the child has autism, then it's the fault of parents or पता नहीं किन गुनाहों की सजा. तो ये सारी बातें हमारी society में exist करती हैं unfortunately. And
absolutely.
these things have a very bad impact on the mother, on the father, and then on the child because it transfers on the child. So my personal approach is to be more empathetic with the parents because they are going through a lot, obviously,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
to bring them to a level where they can have a peaceful mind and then deal with their kids.
yeah. Peace of
Because
mind
dealing
for the
with kids,
parents
you
is
need
also
a very sane mind.
yeah, and to help protect from the negativity or from around the world, from the
Exactly.
society, that is also important. And I think in this battle, parents forget about their own well-being as well. So yeah, if they lower their
Hmm.
expectations, they'll get less hurt as to how easy it can be, what I feel like. Okay, and talking
Exactly.
about the debate, nature versus nurture, first I want you to explain about it. And what do you think, which side help in the child's development more?
Okay, the very famous debate, nature versus nurture. Okay, this debate is basically revolving around the concept that whether a human behavior is determined by the environment he lives in or by the genes. That genes have to do something with it. That's inheritance have to do something with it. So if we talk about nature part of this debate, then nature is what we think of as a pre-wiring and influenced by genetic inheritance or biological factors like the color of your eyes, the color of your skin, the color of your hair. These are all inherited. These are all physical features that are inherited from your parents, from your grandparents, forefathers. Okay, and nurture part says that the development of personality, development of behavior, or development of a human mostly depends on the external factors that a baby or child experiences after the conception in the mother's womb. From the mother's womb, uh, the kind of experiences the baby has, the kind of sounds the baby hear, the kind of lights the baby see in there. Uh, from there, his personality develops, and this is the nurture part of this debate. Okay, so again, it is a very contradicting debate, and we cannot stay on one side that nature has to do with behaviors or nurture has to do with behavior. But I personally believe, from what I have experienced, from what I have observed in society, and from what I have read in my career, I believe that when we talk about behaviors, then nurture wins. Nurture has more leverage because see, behaviors can be changed, behaviors can be modified, behaviors can be shaped. Okay, so if the thing is given to you by God Almighty, if thing is given to you by nature, then it cannot be changed or modified in any way. For example, the color of your skin cannot be changed unless you use certain, non-inhuman or unnatural methods. So you cannot change those things. But behavior, since it can be changed and it can be shaped up, so nurture has more part in it. Hello, Tuba.
Sorry guys about the internet connection again. It's troubling a lot, especially because it's a weekend, so that's why Amna is joining again. She'll be back in like few seconds. She is back. Hello,
Yeah.
yeah, Amna. You were talking about nature versus nurture debate. Yeah.
Yeah. How much did you hear? I don't know.
I covered about what nature versus nurture means, but then I think you were covering about how this impact on the behavior.
Yeah. So, okay. What I was saying, what I have experienced and observed and read about is that if you talk about behavior, then nurture has more leverage because um, you see, behaviors can be changed, can be modified, can be shaped up. Okay, and which is a clear-cut example that behavior can be, changed. So if something can be changed with the help of external factors, with the help of environment, then definitely nurture has more part in that. There are many behavior therapies, cognitive behavior therapy, applied behavior analysis. All these behavior therapies are mainly focusing on changing or shaping up the behavior that is, problematic. So if a behavior can be changed, then nurture has more part in it.
Nurture, that in which we
Yeah.
can modify the behavior.
If we talk about behavior only, not other
Okay.
things, not
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah, I agree too. Because I think the way a child is born with the neurological differences, they are born with that. We cannot anything about that. But yes, the behaviors we can definitely modify. We can make them learn in a different way. But there are different ways now.
Hmm. Many
Right?
different ways.
Yeah. And Amna, according to your experience, like how much improvement can children with neurological differences have? Like, are there hope? Because parents are usually hopeless. So, is there
See,
hope when you're dealing with children with special needs?
you cannot say that a child will be what we call normal these days. A child will be on that level in the end of all the therapies and all the sessions. We cannot say that. It is a miracle if it happens. Okay, otherwise, a child is born that way, and you have to, accept him the way he is. God has made him that way, and obviously, you don't have any part in making him like that. Obviously, we all want kids to be mainstream, boring,
Mm,
but the children with any neurological issue are actually more interesting. What I have observed, they have a wild imagination, which we normal people don't have usually. They have, certain things they excel in. They have very good drawing skills. They have very improved, artistic abilities. So these children are basically what I believe are not from this world. They are from a whole different world. They have a whole different perspectives. Yeah. Hello, I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
I got a call
No,
from someone.
oh, that's okay. Yeah,
Okay, so they have a whole new world inside them, and
yeah,
it is being a parent, it's our duty to explore that world. Being a therapist, we have to understand what that world is for him. Okay, because he has different perception of all the things that we are unable to see.
yeah. Absolutely. And this is exactly how it is. They have their own world in which they are very happy and they are very secure. And what we do over here in this culture, parents tend to bring them out of their world into this boring world, as you said. And you are absolutely right. And that is where they have difficulty in adjusting because they don't understand this world at all. They have this magical,
Exactly,
happy bubble they are in, and what I believe in, and because I have tried that also, that first enter into their world, explore that with
exactly.
them, and definitely they will be able to understand our world as well.
Exactly. See, if you want someone to listen to you, it's best to first listen to them, explore them, let them speak out, let them express
Yes,
themselves. Because if his feelings are inside his heart and he didn't express them, then he won't be able to listen or accept or hear what you are saying. So first, let them spill out, go into their world, explore their world with them, and then maybe you can try to change or modify certain things that can be problematic for them in future,
yeah,
so you can deal with them.
yes, absolutely. Very well said, Amna. And Amna, what do from your perspective, what is neurodiversity?
Okay. I actually, this word was a bit new for me, so I searched a lot, I read a lot about this, and it is a concept that is very difficult for a layman to understand. So in the easiest possible words, I'm trying to explain this to you. See, you cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb the trees, right?
Hmm.
So God has made a fish differently abled from a bird, from a monkey. Every animal in the animal kingdom is differently abled, have their own uniqueness, have their own set of skills they are able to perform, which others are unable to do. In the same manner, a human brain is made that way. Every human brain has different abilities, different variations, and what neurodiversity is basically the variations of all these human brains. Some brains can have a very good set of mathematical skills. Some might be very artistic. Some might be, very good with literature. So, in the same way, if you talk about neurodiversity, some brains are not very good with communication, but they are good with other aspects which we are not good at. Okay, so this is what the whole concept revolves around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, exactly. And I think you have related it very well with the animal kingdom. Yes, every animal has a uniqueness to their and strengths, how they survive. Because of that, they
Hmm.
survive. So
Exactly.
it doesn't mean that for even for you and I are very different. So that doesn't mean that I am normal, so you're abnormal, and if you are normal, I am abnormal. We are
Hmm.
diverse. We have different capabilities. We have different
Bilkul.
strengths. So this
But
is what neurodiversity is.
we actually have set certain standards that if you follow this thing, then he is normal. If he is unable to follow these things, then he is not normal, which is, I think, which is, I won't say that word, but this concept is actually that.
Yes, exactly. I
Hmm.
completely believe that we need, and I think as professionals, as parents, we need to. And people say that हम change कर लेंगे, बाकी दुनिया तो change नहीं होगी. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. For your child, you are the world. You need to change.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
others don't won't matter, and because I have tried that, I
Hmm.
have tried that, I am very confident about it. If you
Hmm.
have given that security, the mental security, the emotional security to your child at home, he
Hmm.
wouldn't get the negativity. You are able to understand what the child needs are.
Exactly. But for that, first you have to be in a secure place, in a
Yes,
peaceful state of mind. being a parent, not a mother only, both parents have to deal with it, no? So being a parent, you have to be in a secure place in order to bring your child to a secure place.
Yeah. So, Amna, for coming to that secure place, do you think there are people who can help parents who are dealing with the children with special needs?
Hmm.
Do you think they should
See,
go for help?
what I have observed is that if you talk to a behavior therapist or if you talk to a person who deals with children specifically, they don't pay much more attention to the parents. They
Mm,
only focus on the kids. And I believe that there should be a different, there should be a specialist to deal with parents in this of going through this kind of issue. So a
yeah.
behavior therapist is trained for counseling, so they can also do this. If people come to me, I first take sessions of mothers, of fathers if possible. Usually fathers don't come to such sessions, but I first bring the mothers down to a more comfortable, safe place, and then I focus on the kids. Meanwhile, the kid is roaming around and exploring different stuff in the clinic. But my first two sessions are usually with the moms. So this
And
is
I
how
think
I
that
deal
is
with it.
great. Yes, that is great, and I think that is much needed. Over here, many professionals just ignore dealing with, and
Exactly.
me being a teacher, I think when I teach, my interaction with parents is very important. You have to understand and make parents realize also the abilities and capabilities of their child, and think the way you are doing it, this is exactly how it should be done. That involving
Exactly.
parents is very
And I
important.
hope more behavior therapists and child psychologists would practice this thing. I just hope so.
Yes, because for with you the child is for a few hours, but mostly
Hmm.
they are with their parents.
Exactly. And obviously, a child has a shadow of their parents. If the parents are insecure about certain things, obviously it will be transferred to the kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are absolutely right. Because sometimes I have seen this pattern that they transfer, they project their insecurity in children instead of feeling proud of themselves. They
Hmm.
mask that insecurity, and then their
Hmm.
self-esteem get low, their identity get affected, and parents don't
Hmm.
realize that.
And parents are also facing some sort of peer pressure, so I won't blame the parents completely uh, because they also have certain pressures from the society, from the people living in the home, even.
Yeah.
So I will not completely blame them. I have a bit of, empathetic uh, approach towards parents, you would say.
Yeah, yeah. And I think yes, you are right also, because in our culture, especially with the joint family system and focusing on society more, but I think keeping that in mind, parents need to adjust
Hmm.
their feelings, expectations, as you said, to a level which will not affect the child negatively.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
And if
definitely.
parents, being a parent, you need
Mhm.
therapy, just go to a therapist. There's no
Yeah.
harm in that. Okay? It will be beneficial for you and for your kid as well.
Yes, definitely. Anna, do you have any message for the parents, especially other than this? Do you have any message for the members in general?
Okay, I hope this whole live video uh, is beneficial for everyone who is listening. And just for parents and for all those who are listening, neurodiversity is not a deficiency or defect, it is normal, and try to keep it that way. And whatever your family members or your relatives or your society thinks and says about all these things, just ignore that and try to focus more on your child, try to focus on your and your child's mental health more, and things will turn out amazing if you just keep yourself and your child sane. Things the child will be able to do so many things that you couldn't even think of. So just give him a well nourished environment and he will bloom like a flower. inshallah.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Amna. You have cleared so many concepts for me also. So I'm quite sure this session would have helped the parents as well. Those who couldn't have watched, it will be on the page, and you can comment below. Amna will get back to you. And Amna is very active on different pages also. So please do check out her videos. Amna, can you share some pages that you have done videos on? They are very excellent. I watched few and I was so impressed, Amna, the way you suggest, the way you
Thank you,
talk,
thank you.
mashallah.
I just need your prayers, and that's it. Thank you very much.
So can you tell few pages so that members can join those pages and check out your videos?
Okay, there is a page called Fix Her Crown. It is on women empowerment, and only ladies can join that group. Okay, so Fix Her Crown. Then there is Markaz-e-Umeed. It is a special UN supported special education system, and there is a Facebook profile of that. Hello? So you can
Yeah,
check
yeah.
out Markaz Umeed. There's a Facebook profile of that. And then there is this page called Razia Fatma Therapeutic Center, Razia Fatma, or therapists, teachers, and educators. These both are actually run by Razia Fatma, and I'm working under Razia Fatma right now. She is a remedial therapist, a very great one. And at Majoris Inclusive Center, I'm working with her.
Okay.
So we usually come online from that page.
Okay. So guys, please do check out those pages also because Amna has done very, very informative and insightful sessions over there also. And thank you, Amna, for doing this for this page. I'm grateful again to have you on the panel.
Thank you so much for having me, Tuba, and I feel so honored when you offered me a place in your panel. So thank you so much for that.
No, no, I'm glad. Okay, thank you, Amna.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. So we had Amna, and with her, the way she talks, the way she has provided you much about the developmental psychology, I'm quite sure it would have been very helpful. If if you watch this video later, please don't hesitate to ask. She will definitely get back to you. She is a very, very good clinical psychologist, and she has a very vast experience in dealing with children with special needs. So she can definitely, be a very good help. So please don't hesitate to approach, and please do, and I will add the YouTube link in the description and the summary points of the session in the description. So if those who want to share can share through YouTube, and those who want to know what was discussed will be in a written form if they can, if it will benefit them. So I'll see you in the next session hopefully. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.